The water, off the Ningaloo coast of Australia, holds a secret that contradicts everything we think we know about the animals that live beneath it. A green sea turtle, ancient in its design, hangs suspended in the blue, its flippers tracing slow circles. Sunlight fractures through the surface above, casting shifting patterns across the sand below. The turtle does not know it is being watched. It does not know that a shadow has begun to materialize from the deeper water, a shape that has haunted the oceans for millions of years. The tiger shark moves without effort, a creature of pure momentum, its stripes barely visible in the dappled light. Yet this is not a story of a simple hunt. The observation that has emerged from years of research is that sea turtles are less slow and steady than we have historically assumed. This is a battle of endurance, a contest of strategy, and it may rewrite what we believe about survival itself. Why does one kind of turtle escape hungry tiger sharks while another does not? That question has driven marine biologists to strap cameras to the heads of sharks, to follow hunts in real time, and to document encounters that turn the old narratives upside down. For decades, we pictured the sea turtle as a passive creature, armored and slow, drifting through the ocean like a living stone. We imagined the tiger shark as an unstoppable machine, a predator with no natural equal. The truth, as it often does, lives somewhere in the quiet details. A 2022 analysis revealed that tiger sharks have lower visual acuity than humans, meaning they see far less detail in the water around them. Motion matters more than shape. Stillness can be a shield. The turtle that understands this, that holds its breath and its body in perfect immobility, may simply disappear from the shark's perception. You know that feeling, don't you? The one that comes when you sense something watching you, a prickle at the back of your neck that you cannot explain. The turtle shares something with that instinct. It carries an ancient awareness, a biological memory of predators that has shaped its every movement for eons. The tiger shark cruises past, close enough that its passing displaces water, a pressure wave that the turtle feels against its leathery skin. The shark's eye, small and dark, sweeps across the reef. The turtle does not move. It does not flare its flippers. It becomes, for all practical purposes, invisible. This is the opening move in a contest where the stakes are absolute, where the difference between survival and loss is measured in centimeters and seconds. The setting sun has already begun to shorten the day above the surface, but down here, the light lingers in suspended particles of plankton. The tiger shark is a female, and she is large, well over 4.5 meters from nose to tail, a size that the Sea Turtle Conservancy notes makes her one of the most formidable predators in the ocean. Her skin bears the scars of a long life, old wounds from territorial disputes and hunting accidents. She patrols the shallow seagrass beds because she knows from a lifetime of experience that this is where her prey gathers. The Sea Turtle Conservancy has documented that tiger sharks frequently prey on large juvenile and adult sea turtles in shallow seagrass, coral reef, and open sea habitats. This is her hunting ground. The turtle, an adult green sea turtle, has returned to these waters to feed, its own body carrying the memory of narrow escapes and close calls. The encounter begins not with a rush, but with a change in the shark's behavior. She slows down. She begins to turn frequently, her head swinging from side to side, sampling the water for chemical traces, for the subtle pressure signatures that living things emit. This is what researchers have described as search mode. The 2022 analysis, drawing on the work of Dr. Ryan and Dr. Samantha Andrachek, noted that when a tiger shark spotted a sea turtle, it would slow down and begin to turn frequently, indicating it was in search mode for its prey. The shark has detected something. The question is whether she has found the turtle or merely the ghost of its passing. The turtle's heart rate has not changed. It cannot afford the luxury of panic. Panic, in the open ocean, is a signal. It produces erratic movements, a surge of chemicals that any predator can read from a distance. The turtle has survived this long because it has learned, through a lifetime of close calls, that the only winning move is to become nothing. It tucks its flippers close to its body. It allows the current to carry it, drifting as if it were a piece of debris, a clump of seaweed torn loose from the reef. The shark's shadow passes directly overhead. The turtle feels the water pressure change as the massive body moves past, but it holds its position, frozen in the green water. Heithaus, Frid, Worsing, and Dill published their findings in 2007, reporting that tiger sharks selectively prey on large colonnid sea turtles. The research, published in the Japanese Journal of Herpetology, established a pattern that had been suspected for years. These sharks do not simply eat whatever they find. They choose. They target the largest, most nutritious prey available, and sea turtles, with their rich stores of fat and protein, are a preferred meal. This selectivity has shaped the evolution of both species, driving the turtle to develop its remarkable defenses and the shark to refine its hunting techniques. But the shark is not fooled, not this time. Something about the turtle's stillness has not convinced her. Perhaps it is a scent carried on the current, the faint trace of the turtle's last exhalation as it surfaced to breathe moments ago. Perhaps it is the subtle heat signature of a warm-blooded creature in cooler water. The shark wheels around, her pectoral fins angling to bring her back toward the drifting form. The turtle sees the movement. It knows that the moment of decision has arrived. It can remain still and hope that the shark passes, or it can flee and hope that it is faster over the short distance to the reef. The turtle chooses flight. The explosion of movement is sudden and violent. The turtle's flippers, which a moment ago were folded against its shell, now beat the water with a force that sends a shock wave through the surrounding sea. It does not swim with the slow, deliberate strokes that we associate with turtles on coral reefs. It swims with the desperate urgency of prey that has been caught in the open, its body twisting and turning in a frantic bid for speed. The shark reacts instantly, her own powerful tail lashing the water, propelling her forward with a burst of acceleration that closes the distance in less than a second. The two animals are now locked in a race, a straight-line sprint that will determine which of them lives and which dies. This is the moment that Discovery documented when they described the encounter on the Ningaloo coast. The turtle rapidly swam, flipped repeatedly, and ultimately survived the attack on shore. The video footage, captured by a photographer who happened to be in the right place at the right time, shows the turtle executing a series of maneuvers that seem more like a fighter pilot than a reptile. Each flip is a change in direction, a sudden vertical or horizontal shift that forces the shark to recalculate its trajectory. The tiger shark eventually looks as though it is succeeding, its jaws closing on the turtle's shell, but the turtle flips once again to escape the predator. The shell, which we have always believed to be an impenetrable fortress, is not the turtle's true defense. It is a last resort. The real defense is the turtle's ability to move in ways that the shark cannot anticipate. The turtle's flips were not random. They were a language the shark could not read. If moments like that shift how you see the wild, subscribe and keep watching with us. In the comments, drop the word flip if you too thought the shell was the turtle's only shield, before you saw what it can really do. But not all turtles escape. The research makes this brutally clear. Tiger sharks are the only elasmobranch predators, consistently eating large bony turtles, a conclusion reached by a 1987 study that reviewed the available literature on shark predation. The scientists who wrote that paper described the tiger shark as possessing a strong sawing bite and the ability to regurgitate large indigestible material. These are traits that matter when your prey is wrapped in a shell. The shark does not need to crush the turtle's armor in a single bite. It needs only to get its jaws around the edge of the shell, to bite down and saw through the softer tissue at the turtle's neck or flippers. The sawing motion is what kills. The shell, for all its strength, has vulnerable points, and the tiger shark knows exactly where to find them. The turtle that is fleeing knows this too. It has seen sharks take others of its kind. It has felt the scrape of teeth against its own shell in past encounters, a sensation that sends a jolt of animal terror through its body. It swims with everything it has, its muscles burning with the effort of oxygen debt, its lungs screaming for a breath it cannot take while the shark is this close. A turtle cannot breathe underwater. It must surface, but surfacing now in the open water would expose its most vulnerable parts to the shark waiting below. The turtle must choose between drowning and being eaten. The shark, for her part, is beginning to tire. Not physically, not yet, but mentally. The turtle is not behaving the way she expected. It is not trying to outrun her in a straight line, which would be futile. A healthy adult tiger shark is faster than a green sea turtle over any sustained distance. Instead, the turtle is dodging, turning, using the geography of the reef to break the shark's line of sight. It cuts around coral heads, dives into narrow channels, emerges in directions that the shark cannot predict. Every turn forces the shark to slow down and reorient, to burn energy that she cannot easily replace. The battle is becoming one of endurance, and the turtle is determined to last longer. The water here is shallower now. The turtle can see the pale glare of the surface above, the promise of air and safety. It can also see that the shark is still behind it, still closing. The turtle makes a decision. It stops swimming. It lets its body go limp, folding its flippers against its shell, allowing itself to sink toward the sandy bottom. This is the riskiest move in its entire repertoire. To go still in the presence of a predator is to trust that the predator's perception will fail. The 2022 research suggests that this trust is well-founded. Tiger sharks detect still sea turtles poorly and rely strongly on movement cues. If the turtle can be perfectly still, the shark may simply fail to see it. The shark cruises past, her massive body trailing swirls of sand. She has lost the signal. The turtle, which a moment ago was the target of a high-speed chase, has become part of the background, a shape that the shark's low-resolution vision cannot distinguish from the coral and the rocks. The shark turns in a wide circle, her head swinging, her lateral line tasting the water for the telltale vibrations of struggling prey. There is nothing. The turtle is holding its breath, its heart hammering, but its body perfectly still. The shark passes within 2 meters of it, so close that the turtle can see the individual dermal denticles that armor the shark's skin, can see the old scars and the small scratches of past hurts. The shark does not turn. For a long moment, the shark hovers in the water, uncertain. The researchers would later describe this as a common outcome in these encounters. The myth that tiger sharks always win is simply wrong. National Geographic and Discovery have both documented cases where turtles escape, cases that have shifted the scientific understanding of these interactions. The shark eventually turns away, her interest lost, her attention already shifting to the next possibility, the next faint signal in the water. The turtle remains motionless for another full minute, waiting, ensuring that the shark is truly gone before it allows itself to move. When the turtle finally dares to move, it does so with a care that speaks to generations of survival. It extends one flipper, then the other, testing the water for any residual threat. It pushes off from the bottom, rising slowly, keeping its body angled away from the direction the shark disappeared. It makes its way to the surface, its head breaking the water with a soft gasp. The air fills its lungs, a sensation so profound that it seems to resonate through every cell of its body. It has survived, again. But the encounter is not merely an anecdote, a single lucky escape captured on film. The researchers at National Geographic, led by marine biologist Mike Heithaus, have documented this pattern again and again, using critter cam footage, cameras attached to the bodies of sharks that record the world from the predator's perspective. The footage shows tiger sharks interacting with green and loggerhead turtles in ways that were previously hidden from human observation. It shows the searches, the approaches, the failed strikes, the escapes. It shows that some turtles are better at evading sharks than others, that there is a spectrum of skill, and that survival depends on learning and adaptability. The 2007 study by Heithaus and his colleagues placed this observation in a broader ecological context. The predation of tiger sharks on large chelonisid sea turtles is not random, it is selective. The sharks are choosing specific individuals, and that choice has consequences for the turtle population as a whole. By removing certain individuals and allowing others to escape, the sharks are exerting a selective pressure that shapes the evolution of escape behavior. The turtles that are good at evading sharks are the ones that live to reproduce, and their offspring inherit the traits that made their parents successful fishermen, if we can call it that, of their own survival. This co-evolution is the hidden engine of the ocean. It is not a simple story of predator and prey, of winners and losers. It is a dance, ancient and intricate, in which each species has shaped the other. The tiger shark has evolved to become an expert hunter of turtles, with jaws designed for soaring through shell and a sensory system tuned to detect the slightest movement of its prey. The turtle has evolved to become an expert survivor, with flippers that can generate surprising bursts of speed and a nervous system that can override its own instinct to flee in favor of a risky stillness. Neither is the villain, neither is the victim. They are two forces in a system that has been refining itself for millions of years. The 1987 study, though published decades ago, remains a cornerstone of our understanding. It concluded that tiger sharks are the only elasmobranch predators that consistently eat large bony turtles, a finding that has never been contradicted. This is not a casual or occasional predation. It is a defining feature of the tiger shark's ecology, and it is a defining pressure on the turtle's existence. The study also noted the shark's ability to regurgitate large indigestible material, a digestive strategy that allows it to eat a turtle, shell and all, and then simply expel the parts it cannot process. The turtle's shell, the very thing that seems to offer protection, is not an absolute defense. The myth that a turtle shell makes sea turtles invulnerable is a persistent one. It appears in children's books, in nature documentaries, in casual conversation. But the 1987 paper and later summaries make it clear that tiger sharks can prey on large turtles despite the shell. The shell is a compromise, a trade-off between mobility and protection. It is heavy, which slows the turtle down. It is cumbersome, which limits the turtle's range of motion. And it has gaps, soft tissue at the neck and the base of the flippers, where a determined predator can find purchase. The shell is not a guarantee of safety. It is merely an advantage, one that the tiger shark has learned to overcome. The turtle that escaped in the Ningaloo encounter, the one photographed flipping and twisting and ultimately swimming away, represents the other side of this equation. It is the proof that the shell, combined with the turtle's own behavior, can be enough. It is the proof that escape is possible, that survival is not a matter of strength alone, but of strategy. The turtle did not outpower the shark. It outthought it. It used its knowledge of the reef, its understanding of its own limits, and its willingness to take risks that would seem suicidal to a human observer. It played a game of endurance, and it won. Researchers have wondered whether this behavior is learned or instinctive. Do young turtles make mistakes because they have not yet learned to control their panic? Do older turtles become better at staying still because they have survived more encounters? The evidence is suggestive, though not conclusive. What is clear is that the turtles that survive are those that can adapt their behavior to the specific circumstances of the attack. A turtle that is surprised in the open is more likely to flee. A turtle that sees the shark approaching is more likely to freeze. The successful turtle, the one that lives to repeat its close call, is the one that can read the situation and choose the right response. This is the core of its endurance, a mental flexibility that mirrors the physical toughness of its body. For the tiger shark, the hunt is an economic equation. It must weigh the energy it spends chasing a turtle against the energy it will gain from eating it. A chase that lasts too long, that requires too many turns and too much acceleration, may not be worth finishing. The shark relies on surprise and speed, and when those fail, it moves on. This is not mercy, it is pragmatism. The ocean is full of other prey, other opportunities. The turtle that can make itself too expensive to catch, too costly to pursue, has effectively won the battle. The shark will look elsewhere. The endurance of the turtle is a financial argument expressed in the currency of calories and time. The turtle's survival is not just a matter of shell and muscle. It is a decision made in the space between panic and stillness, a calculation with no margin for error. If these quiet observations are the kind of thing you want to spend more time with, subscribe and stay. The channel is a place for this kind of slow looking. When the turtle chose to freeze, what did you feel? Drop the word stillness in the comments if that moment shifted something for you. This is why the turtle's stillness works. The shark has evolved to prioritize movement cues, because movement is what signals the presence of vulnerable prey. A turtle that is still looks like a rock, like coral, like the seafloor itself. The shark's low visual acuity, lower than that of a human, means that it cannot easily distinguish the fine details of a turtle's shell from its surroundings. The stillness is a form of camouflage, a way of hiding in plain sight. The shark's perception, finely tuned to the erratic movements of panicked prey, is blind to the deliberate patience of a turtle that has learned to wait. The environmental context matters as well. The Sea Turtle Conservancy has noted that tiger sharks frequently prey on large juvenile and adult sea turtles in shallow seagrass, coral reef, and open sea habitats. Each of these environments offers different opportunities and different risks. In the seagrass, the turtle can disappear among the waving blades, its shell blending with the tangled vegetation. On the coral reef, it can duck into crevices and tunnels that the shark cannot enter. In the open sea, it has no cover, and it must rely entirely on its speed and its ability to stay still. The turtle's strategy must be adapted to its location. A turtle that tries to hide in the open water will fail. A turtle that tries to outrun a shark in the seagrass will fail. The successful turtle is the one that reads its environment and responds accordingly. The encounter off the Ningaloo coast unfolded in a relatively open area, which may explain why the turtle's rapid swimming and flipping were so critical to its survival. There was no reef to hide behind, no seagrass to disappear into. The turtle had to rely on its own physical capabilities, on its ability to change direction quickly and to keep changing direction until the shark gave up. It was a pure contest of endurance, a test of which animal could sustain its effort longer. The turtle won because it could keep flipping, keep turning, keep moving when the shark began to lose interest. Its stamina, which we so often overlook in an animal we picture as slow and deliberate, was the decisive factor. The National Geographic footage offers another perspective. The CritterCam recordings show the hunt from the shark's point of view, and they reveal something that the human eye cannot perceive from the outside. The shark is not a mindless predator. It is assessing, evaluating, making decisions. It sees a turtle and decides whether the potential meal is worth the effort. It
Look at the
tests
size
the
of
turtle's
that return.
response.
It matches the
Quick probe
profile
to see
exactly.
if the turtle is healthy and strong or
Running
weak and
the
vulnerable.
identification
The footage
sequence
shows
now.
that the shark is frequently surprised by the turtle's response, that the turtle's speed and agility often exceed the shark's expectations. The predators are not always in control. They are adapting to their prey, just as the prey adapts to them. Mike Highhouse, the biologist who has devoted much of his career to studying these interactions, has framed the central question in simple terms. Why does one kind of turtle escape hungry tiger sharks, but another does not? The answer, it turns out, is not a single factor, but a combination of many. It is the turtle's age, its size, its health, its experience, its location, and its behavior in the moment of crisis. It is also the shark's own condition, its age, its hunger, its previous experiences with turtles, its willingness to persist in a challenging hunt.
Did you get that down for your report?
The encounter is a product of two lives, two histories, meeting at a single point in the ocean. The 2022 analysis offers a deceptively simple insight that illuminates the entire dynamic. Because tiger sharks rely so strongly on movement cues, a turtle that can minimize its movement
from that of the
can
sea turtle,
minimize its
particularly
risk.
in the structure.
This is not a passive strategy. It is an active exercise in self-control, a suppression of the instinctive urge to flee that has kept turtle populations alive in the face of relentless predation. It is a choice made in an instant can mean the difference between life and death, and it is a choice that can be refined over time. The older, more experienced turtles are the ones that have learned to make the right choice. They are the ones that have lived long enough to pass on their genes, including whatever combination of traits underlies their remarkable ability to stay still when everything in their body screams at them to move. The shark, meanwhile, must continue to adapt. It cannot rely on a single strategy. A turtle that holds still must be detected through other means, perhaps through the chemical traces it leaves in the water, perhaps through the subtle electrical signals generated by its muscles. The shark's hunting techniques are not fixed. They are refined through trial and error, through successes and failures. The shark that has encountered many turtles has developed a repertoire of approaches, a mental map of the strategies that work and those that fail. This is the intelligence of the ocean, not the intelligence of a single species, but the intelligence of a system, an ever-evolving dance of action and response that has been playing itself out for countless millennia. The turtle that eventually reaches the shore, that crawls out of the water and onto the sand, carries with it the memory of the encounter. Its body, which ached with the effort of the chase, will rest. Its lungs, which burned with the need to breathe, will fill with cool night air. It will, in time, return to the water, to feed and to mate, and to continue the cycle of its life. But it will not forget the lesson of this encounter. It will remember that the shark was faster and stronger, and that only its own ability to endure, to keep moving, to keep changing direction, saved it. It will carry that knowledge forward into the next encounter, and the next, and the next. This is the true nature of the relationship between the tiger shark and the sea turtle. It is not a simple story of predator and prey, of a hunter and its victim. It is a story of adaptation, of co-evolution, of two species that have shaped each other over millions of years. The shark has made the turtle faster, smarter, more resilient. The turtle has made the shark more selective, more efficient, more careful. Each is the other's most demanding teacher, and the ocean, vast and patient, is the arena in which their lessons are learned. The water off the Ningaloo coast holds many secrets, but this one, the secret of the turtle's endurance, is perhaps the most revealing of the hidden dynamics that sustain life beneath the waves. The quiet drama of that single encounter echoes across an entire ocean, a living laboratory where every hunt teaches a lesson that shapes the next generation. What the CritterCam footage revealed was not merely a series of attacks and escapes, but a record of decision-making, a window into how predators learn from their successes and their failures. When the tiger shark misjudges a turtle's speed, when it commits to a chase that proves fruitless, that experience lingers. The next time it encounters a green turtle in open water, it may hesitate, may weigh the angles differently, may seek easier prey. Instead, this behavioral flexibility is one of the least understood aspects of shark ecology. We tend to think of predators as locked into instinct, repeating the same motions their ancestors perfected 100 million years ago. But the evidence suggests something more dynamic. Tiger sharks, with their famously broad diet, are opportunists in the truest sense. They sample, they test, they remember. A shark that has struggled to catch a healthy adult turtle may pivot toward younger, less experienced individuals, the ones that panic too soon and reveal themselves with flailing flippers. The pressure is not evenly distributed across the turtle population. It falls hardest on the young, the sick, the unwary. Consider the juvenile green turtle, newly arrived in the seagrass beds after years drifting in the open ocean. It has grown strong in the relative safety of the pelagic zone, where the only predators are birds and the occasional fish. It has never faced a tiger shark. Its body knows the theory of escape, the muscle memory of the flipper stroke, but it does not yet know the practice, the precise moment when stillness is wiser than flight. When the shadow materializes from the blue, the young turtle's instinct screams one thing: move. And so it flees, erratically, desperately, and the shark, its sensory system primed for exactly this pattern, locks on. The adult turtle that surfaced to breathe a few minutes before the chase began made a different calculation. It had been here before. It had felt the scrape of teeth against its carapace, had tasted the terror of near capture. It knew that the shark's greatest advantage was surprise, and that its own greatest weapon was patience. When the shadow appeared, the adult did not flee. It settled, its flippers folding, its body descending toward the sand. It became part of the reef, indistinguishable from the coral heads and the sponge growths. And when the shark's shadow passed overhead, the turtle remained, a statue in a world of motion. The lesson of these encounters is that survival is not a single trick, but a repertoire of responses, a toolkit refined through experience. The young turtle must learn, often through near disaster, when to run and when to hold. The shark must learn when to press and attack and when to break off. Each failed hunt, each narrow escape, is a tuition payment in the currency of survival, an investment in future decisions that will be made faster, smarter, more accurately. The ocean does not record these lessons in any book, but it records them in the bodies and behaviors of every animal that swims. This is where the scientific framework becomes essential. The studies conducted by Heighthouse and his colleagues in the early 2000s and the more recent analyses of shark sensory biology in 2022 have begun to map the contours of this learning process. They have shown that the turtle's stillness is not a surrender but a calculation, a recognition that the shark's visual system is optimized for detecting motion, not form. They have shown that the shark's famous ferocity is tempered by pragmatism, by a willingness to abandon a difficult hunt in favor of an easier one. We are beginning to understand the intelligence of these encounters, the subtle signals and counter-signals that determine whether a chase ends in a meal or in a disappearance into the blue. The Ningaloo encounter, famous because it was captured on film, is not an outlier. The National Geographic team has documented numerous such interactions, each with its own particular rhythm and outcome. Some turtles escape, some do not. But the very existence of the footage and the research it has inspired has changed how we teach the public about these animals. The documentary segments that aired, reminding viewers that tiger sharks are not invincible and that sea turtles are not passive, have begun to erode the old stereotypes. The dramatic narrative of inevitable predation is giving way to a more nuanced story, one that honors the complexity of both creatures. For the tiger shark, the turtle is a puzzle, a challenge that occasionally proves too difficult. For the turtle, the shark is a constant presence, a shadow that never fully disappears. Their relationship is not a friendly one, and we must never mistake mutualism for affection. But it is, in a sense, a partnership, an interdependent system in which each species has forced the other to become more than it would be alone. The turtle is faster, smarter, more strategically flexible because the shark hunts it. The shark is more selective, more efficient, more attuned to the nuances of prey behavior because the turtle evades it. They are locked in a dance of mutual refinement, a co-evolutionary spiral that has been spiraling for a very long time. The question that first drew Mike Heighthouse to this subject, the one that framed his documentary segments and his scientific papers, remains open at its edges. Why does one turtle escape while another does not? We have partial answers now. We can point to the role of experience, the importance of habitat, the decisive influence of the shark's own judgment in any given moment. But the full answer, the complete map of all the variables that tip an encounter toward survival or loss, lies beyond our current reach. The ocean is too vast, too complex, too full of variables that we cannot measure from the surface. What we do know is that every encounter matters. Every escape is a small victory for the turtle population, a memory that will be passed on, a genetic inheritance that will shape the behavior of future generations. Every successful hunt is a reminder of the shark's power, a force that keeps the turtle population healthy, culling the weak and the sick, leaving the strong to breed. The ocean's balance is not a static state, but a constant negotiation, a series of micro-encounters between billions of individuals, each acting on its own behalf, each contributing to the whole. The memory of this morning's escape has already entered the turtle's body, becoming part of the ocean's long, silent reckoning. subscribe, and when the next encounter unfolds, the shark's next signal, the turtle's next breath, you'll be there to witness it. If the phrase mutual refinement resonated with you, leave that phrase in the comments, a small note that you were here for this quiet dance. The light is fading now over the Ningaloo coast. The surface of the water has gone from gold to amber to a deep, quiet blue. The turtle that escaped this morning has found its way to a sheltered cove where it floats in the shallows, its head occasionally breaking the surface for a breath. The tiger shark has moved on, patrolling deeper water, its attention already shifting to the next faint signal, the next possibility. The encounter is over, but the process continues. Tomorrow there will be another hunt, another escape, another lesson learned. The dance goes on, as it has for millions of years, as it will for millions more. We cannot know the thoughts passing behind that small dark eye. Science would not permit such a claim. We can only observe the pattern, the quiet choreography that has repeated itself countless times beneath the surface of every warm ocean. Between the green turtle's practiced still and the tiger shark's patient search, between the frantic flip and the resigned turn away, lies a system far older than any human record of it. The researchers who study these encounters speak of behavior, of sensory biology, of ecological pressure. But standing at the edge of that water, with salt drying on your skin, another word suggests itself. Endurance is too simple. This is a covenant written in the language of muscle and shadow. The turtle floats in the cove, and the shark patrols beyond the reef, and neither knows the other is still alive. Or perhaps, in the way of all wild things, they know without knowing. The turtle will remember the shape of that shadow, the pressure of that passing body, and it will be quicker to stillness next time. The shark will remember the taste of that chase, the expenditure of energy that ended in nothing, and it will be slower to commit. This is how the ocean schools its children. Not with lessons spoken aloud, but with consequences, felt in the body, recorded in the cells, inherited by the generations that follow. Somewhere beyond the reach of the setting sun, another turtle is making its way across the open water. It carries no memory of this particular encounter. It has its own shadow following it, its own tiger shark tasting the currents for a signal. The same ancient negotiation will unfold there, in a different place, at a different hour, with the same uncertain outcome. The balance does not need our attention to maintain itself. It has never needed us. What the work of Hidehouse and his colleagues offers is not control, but witness. A way for the human mind to stand inside a system so much larger than itself and feel for a moment its own proper scale. There is a kind of peace in that realization. The ocean is not a battlefield where one side must win. It is a conversation, ongoing and unending, in which every participant speaks through the only language it has. The move of a flipper, the turn of a fin, the held breath of a creature waiting for danger to pass. The tiger shark does not hate the turtle. The turtle does not resent the shark. They simply are, each pursuing its own necessity, each shaping the other through the simple fact of coexistence. The result is not harmony, in any sentimental sense. It is something more honest, a dynamic tension that has generated beauty and complexity for 100 million years. Standing at the shore now, the last light dissolving on the horizon, it is possible to feel the weight of that time. Every encounter that ever was, every chase that ended in escape or loss, has contributed to what swims beneath these waters. The turtle's ancestors learned stillness in the warm seas of the Cretaceous. The shark's ancestors learned patience in the same waters. They have been refining their respective arts together, generation after generation, long before any human eye ever saw them. We are late arrivals to this story, newcomers to a conversation that will continue long after we are gone. The cove has gone quiet. The turtle's head has not broken the surface for a while, its breathing slow, its body settling into the rhythm of rest. Out in the deeper water, the tiger shark has found a current to ride, saving its strength, letting the ocean carry it toward an unknown horizon. Neither animal knows anything of the observers on the shore, the researchers with their cameras and their hypotheses. Neither knows how much we have leaned on their backs to understand something about ourselves, about persistence, about the wisdom of knowing when to move and when to stay still. Perhaps that is what we take from this. Not a lesson about sharks or turtles, but a lesson about the shape of life itself. Every creature that has survived long enough to be seen by us has done so by solving a series of problems. Many of them lethal, most of them repeated. The solutions are stored, not in libraries, but in bodies, not in books, but in behavior. The tiger shark solves the problem of a turtle's shell with a sawing bite and a patient approach. The turtle solves the problem of a stalking shark with an almost superhuman calm. Neither solution is final. Each encounter tests them anew. The stars are beginning to appear over the Ningaloo coast, faint pinpricks of light in a sky that still holds the memory of blue. The water is a sheet of dark glass, unbroken by any sign of the life that teems beneath it. It is easy at such a moment to imagine that the ocean is empty, that the drama of the day was a figment of the fading light. But the imagination would be wrong. Below that still surface, the green turtle breathes slowly, and the tiger shark glides through the dark, and 1,000 other creatures, copepods and jacks and wrasses and rays, continue their own endless negotiations. The scientists have packed up their equipment. The cameras are dry, the recording media stored safely, the notes taken. They will return to their institutions, write their papers, present their findings to colleagues who were not there to see the turtle go still in the shadow of the shark. The documentary footage will be edited, narrated, shared with a world that cannot fully know what it is watching. But the real record is not in their files. It is in the water, in the living bodies of the animals that have been shaped by this encounter, and a million others like it. We do not need to save the tiger shark or the green sea turtle from each other. They have managing perfectly well without our intervention for a very long time. What we need, perhaps, is to save ourselves from the illusion that we stand outside the system, that we are not also shaped by it, that we are not also participants in a conversation we only dimly understand. The pressure that drives a turtle to stillness and a shark to patience is the same pressure that has shaped every species that has ever lived, including our own. We, too, are creatures of encounter and response. We, too, are moved by forces we did not choose. The last glow has vanished from the sky. The cove and the reef and the deeper water beyond have all faded into a single darkness, punctuated only by the phosphorescent trails of small creatures disturbed by the current. Somewhere in that darkness, the turtle and the shark continue their separate journeys, each carrying the afternoon's lesson in its body. The turtle knows to be still, the shark knows to be patient, and the water, which holds them both, remembers everything. The whole long story of give and take, of pressure and release, of life persisting through every trial the world can devise. The story of the tiger shark and the green sea turtle is not a story that ends. It is a story that repeats endlessly with infinite variation in every ocean on the planet. The names may change, the places may differ, but the essential drama remains. The pursuer and the pursued, the hunter and the hunted, locked in a balance that allows both to exist. To watch it from the shore, to hold it in the mind for even a moment, is to touch something ancient and something alive at the same time. But the night has settled now, and the shore is empty. The moon has not yet risen, and the water is a vast, silent darkness. Somewhere in that darkness, a green turtle rests in the shallows, and a tiger shark glides through the deep, and the ocean, patient as always, continues its work. They will meet again, perhaps, or perhaps not, the pattern shifting in ways no observer can predict. And in the morning, when the light returns to the Ningaloo coast, the water will be ready for whatever comes next.